Thank you, Pooja, for the generous introduction. Well, I think I was so busy talking to Arpit because it goes back in history. I don't know whether Arpit remembers or not, but I have seen him as a kindergarten kid long, long ago. And for me, this is almost like homecoming. How many of you are aware that I have been here before? No, nobody's aware. Okay, fair. So yes, dignitaries in the dais and dear students. First of all, allow me to address you the way I love to address people these days, especially the students, and more especially the girls. Am I allowed?
Yes.
Okay, great, fantastic. I love to tell people that I see them as luminous bundles of energy which is going to light up my country. So, neither students nor professors, in fact, I teach a lot. I don't teach my MBA students, but I teach a lot of officers, whole variety, right from block development officers to IAS to technicians, everyone. And I have refused to see them any other way. I just see them as a luminous bundle of energy. And whenever I get to see my students, yes, all the more. And I truly mean it. And I completely agree to Arpit when he says that these talks should be stopped. Yeah, truly. Because gone are the days, and Arpit did mention that, ma'am, when I was a student, I used to listen. And I felt like telling him, Arpit, when you were a student, life was different. There was no content available, and the only content we got to see was when somebody came up and spoke. In today's world of TED Talks and YouTubes, I know there are numerous better speakers, more knowledgeable people. So why should you? I was also with very senior industry leaders yesterday, and we were talking like how we should, when we say diversity and inclusion, we only talk of gender. These days we already have also started including transgenders. We talk of physical geography, boundaries, or we talk of linguistic diversity. You know what? There's little more which seniors, like the people who are on the front row, need to understand. The generational gap of a very different variety. I live on a campus, yes, and I take a whole lot of pride because the last 7-8 years we've been building campus in the backyard of the country. We don't expect, and there's no industry, no commerce, no factory, no corporate in that part of the world. And yet, I take a lot of pride in the fact that yes, we are the largest IIM in the country. Yeah, we are. And we don't do anything online, part-time, evening, executive, nothing. Kari kaise executive hai hi nahi. In that part of the world there are no industry, no commerce, no? So we only do full-time, long duration, residential, degree awarding. Hindi mein badi par theka lete hain. Theka literally, and the most difficult theka these days is to put you to sleep. Because we are a residential campus. And I keep telling everyone that Zen Alpha, Zen Z, they're all nishachar. Nocturnal means they won't sleep. The bio clocks have completely reversed. The styles are so different. So, sorry, the front enders and me on the stage and everybody else, we don't understand where you come from. And this is the diversity. And which is what we need to learn. And I keep telling you, one thing which we started doing is we are extremely condescending towards you, and we are very apologetic about it. हम बहुत लताड़ते हैं आपको. तुम्हारे टर्न, तुमको तो यहाँ पे बिस्तर पे पड़े रहते हो, सारे दिन डिवाइस देखते रहते हो. पता है जब हम तुम्हारी उम्र में थे 6 किलोमीटर चल के जाते थे. एक पेंसिल बॉक्स मिलता था, एक स्कूल का बैग और एक टिफिन और एक वाटर बॉटल, उसी में पूरा बचपन गुजार दिया. I otherly remember one of my colleagues, he shared it with me. Ma'am, I was giving this kind of dose very often to my son. One day he looked into my eye and he said, कल से स्कूल बस को मना कर दूं क्या? मेरा प्रॉब्लम है, आपने मेरे को एयर कंडीशन रूम दिया है. I don't understand where they come from and they don't understand where we come from. And this is diversity. And we are condescending towards them, and let me tell you, they are equally and even more condescending towards themselves. Every day I have to tell my students, stop self-bashing yourself. You know, every evening you must be telling, you between nothing, तुम कुछ नहीं करोगे, तुम बिल्कुल बेकार हो, आज भी कुछ नहीं किया, इतना things to do list बनाया था, आज भी कुछ नहीं हुआ, और आज फिर सो जाओगे और फिर next day. So much of self-bashing. So much of self-hate. Why? Because aspirations are so high, you also have a whole lot of expectations from yourself. And we understand. So, this diversity must fade. Else, I live with Zenzi's, millions for sure, then Zenzi's and then Alphas. And let me tell you, forget about your SMSs, which we in any case don't understand. We don't understand anything which you are. So very sincere effort needs to be made from our side. And first of all, we have to understand it's not easy to be Zen Alphas. You are the generation which is in the, where there's a problem, you know. First I remember when I was a kid of your variety, we used to watch 5-day match. आराम से popcorn मूंगफली लेके बैठ जाते थे. Gavaskar धीरे धीरे खेलता रहता था, and we used to keep watching it and enjoying it. Then it became one day, then it became T20, then it hopefully become T10 and who knows what. It used to be 1 hour video, then 17 minutes on YouTube, then 10 minutes, then reels, then shots, and then whatnot. Attention spans are zero. Concentration is a problem. And then this whole, you know, you were lucky. Wednesday को चित्रा और Sunday को picture और बीच में सन्नाटा. If at all we were going and switching on the television, कृषि दर्शन आ रहा होता था. So we used to switch off the television and go off to play. I just recently came back from Sweden, mind you, the happiest part of the world. You know, they keep exchanging trophies from Sweden to Finland to Denmark, the happiest part of the world. And I was at Stockholm and we went to the primary healthcare center just outside Stockholm and we were doing some research where we figured it out. The 67% of the cases reported in the primary healthcare center in Sweden are around mental health. Diarrhea se nahi mara. So, and you scratch it a little bit and the reason comes very apparent. The reasons are isolation and loneliness. And that is the reason more and more and more and more I'm falling in love with my country. After 40 nations, 8 passports, having traveled the world. Of course I started in a place like you. I was here in this hall long ago. After having seen it all, been it all, done it all, today let me tell you, there is so much of merit in the way we were doing things. I hope you know that 1700 long years, India was an economic superpower. America hasn't just run even 100 and Trump is making sure that they don't remain one. We were there for 1700, so we were definitely doing something very right. So this whole beautiful collectivism of India, you know, I come from Bihar these days, I was there, and the collectivism in Bihar is even more stronger. Do mummy, teen papa, char uncle, bada chacha, choti chachi, oh beautiful. So if your badi mummy is upset about something, the choti mummy will take care of it, and if badi papa's mood is not correct, chote papa will ensure that you are fine, and the day when everybody is mad, Dadi is going to come and embrace you. And the moment Dadi embraces you, look, you know what? Oxytocin will be released in the blood. The happy hormone. Come on, the people here and the people on the first row, you have to understand, if they are connected to devices, all their hormones are coming from that device. The dose they call it, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin and endorphins, all four, majorly four happy hormones, all of it is coming from device. जो पहले घर में ऐसी दादी से, नानी से, बड़ी मम्मी, छोटी मम्मी, पापा, दोस्त, यारी, किसी ने झप्पी मार ली, किसी ने यार ने दोस्त लगा लिया, oxytocin releases throughout the day. Now you need to fulfill it from devices. So all these likes, shares, follows, which is why cortisol बन जाता है अगर आपने फोटो अपलोड की 16 घंटे में सिर्फ 3 लाइक आई। लाइफ का जी में मरने का सवाल हो जाता है अगर किसी ने अनफॉलो कर दिया। It is like taking away oxytocin. Dopamine gets formed when you do what is known as task accomplishment, which is why I was saying that the very fact that you're self-bashing yourself, you're depriving yourself of the dopamine, and which is why the day you fulfill something, जिसे आप कुछ भी काम करते हैं, जिसे अभी भी बहुत सारी लोग नीचे डिवाइसेस में लगे हैं, वो डोपामिन मिल रहा है उसको भाई, वो रील देख लेना, वो OTT सेशन कंप्लीट कर लेना, मिशन accomplished. You know these dopamines, how we were doing it? I remember my mom told me, जाओ दादाजी को खाना खिला के आओ, जाओ कूलर में पानी भर के आओ, जाओ गमला में पानी लगा के आओ. And whenever we were doing these chores or these sundry things, there was somebody saying this, shabash, good job. And the moment they said good job, dopamine. So we can't blame them. We just can't blame them. That's their dose. Then they're coming back to empty homes where they have nobody. And mind you, women, I know not expected from me, but there are no free lunches. I know what to expect, at least from me, people don't expect, because I'm supposed to be epitome of women liberation and empowering. But yeah, I do feel that yes, financial independence is important, because which is why choices are yours, decisions are yours, even decision to work or not to work is to be yours. So which is why it is extremely important to be financially independent, but yet we have to be completely aware there are no free lunches in life. Everything comes at a trade-off. And be sure that you make right kind of choices. Because life is going to be tough. When they say Bani word from Muka, they move to Bani. Brittle, anxious, non-linear, incomprehensible. People keep talking about AIs. People keep talking, all these coders will go away. All these jobs will go away. Agentification is going to take over. At least already people are saying 40% of the jobs are going to be agentified. So where will you go? Sounds scary. No. I think we similarly thought so when computers came out. People working in the banking situation thought that all the jobs will be taken up by banks. Go and look up the balance sheet of SBI. From where to where they have grown. And which is the hope and which is the optimism? Yes. Technology is not going to go away. I started with the vices of technology. We know that you are consuming too much of content, you're completely dependent on it, all your hormones are coming from there. It's going on making you increasingly lonely, increasingly isolated. But we can't wish it away. So the leadership, which is expected to be us, have to be very different. And let me tell you, people, again, I'm talking more to the frontliners. This generation is far higher on integrity. Keep saying, this generation is not so. No, they are. Integrity has a very simple definition. Integration of thought, words and deeds. जो सोच रहे हैं वो बोल रहे हैं, जो कर रहे हैं. इसलिए they talk very straight. ये बात अलग है हमसे झेलता नहीं है. We are used to taking it so direct. We had a converter here. So whenever, even if we had certain other thoughts, we converted it into a more pleasant response. This generation is not taking those efforts. They say, take it or leave it, care of it. But they are much higher on integrity, which is why they are much more compassionate. Which is why the empathy levels are good. Because हम लोग तो no, because a generation before us was definitely raised on school of scarcity. Scarcity in the school होता है ना, जहाँ हर वक्त हवा में फीलिंग होती है, कम है, खत्म हो जाएगा, 2 मार्च शेयर करो. My parents grew completely on that, and we don't blame them because Britishers left us that bad. भूखा नंगा छोड़ के करके हमको. Bengal famine हुआ था, कुछ नहीं था देश में, so everything was short, and it was in the air. And you know how do you know? Music, literature, cinema, theatre, everything reflects that. याद कीजिए, आपको नहीं याद होगा, मेरी वाली जनरेशन को याद है. In our parents' time, there was a very mega hit called Nargis, Dunia, what is that? Mother India. You know, let me tell you, even if you guys try, you can't watch Mother India. Mother is slow, it is also very, very dark. You're not used to that darkness. In those days, everything was very dark. Everything was very, like, imagine a heroine being known as tragedy queen, Meena Kumari. Katrina Kaif को देखते कहीं feeling आती है ऐसी? नहीं आती है. एक पुराने हीरो होता था राजेंद्र कुमार. In every movie he used to howl, not cry, howl. And he was still made in Julie Kumar because that was the sentiment prevailing. I remember Premchand that story, that Chimta and that Shod Paisa and all that. Oh God, so much of deprivation. This generation hasn't seen that. They can't relate to it. This generation is all about entertainment. Yeah, that also explains why अगर ये 1000 रुपये ऐसे ही नहीं देते हैं, आपकी जनरेशन का तो दिल निकल जाता हो, 1000 रुपये दे दिया. Because we grew up in scarcity, while this generation is growing up on abundance. And yes, which makes us very hopeful. India is a nation of 1.4 billion. India's median age is 28. Almost close to 60-65% population is under 35. Mind you, these are not just statistics. This is optimism. This is sunshine. This is wow. India एकदम young है. India एकदम जवान है. And which is why I tell you that you are the numerous bundle of energy which is going to lit up my country. We are at that moment in the history of our country once again. But let me tell you, and which is why I think what you're doing is a lot of purpose. Is bar. ये जो young population है, with a median of 28. If this time around, we don't educate them, we don't skill them up, we don't scale them up, we can't blame Britishers. We can't say, oh, some foreign hand is responsible, Videshi ताकतों का हाथ है. This time around, the blame is completely ours. Ours means people sitting on the bureaus, the teachers, and the people sitting here, and people like me and Bhushan and Alfred, Catholic administrators. And this is why I take a whole lot of pride on 1600 strong campus, India's largest, because what we drive is just making this talent ready for the world. We definitely have arrived. We are a young nation. We are a capable nation. We did miss the bus of manufacturing. We did miss the bus of internet. But services is still around. Knowledge industries are still around. And we do see a possibility in AI. So this time around, I think India should buck up. India should scale up. India should get ready. And the future is you all. So do your whatever that you're doing with that kind of optimism that yes, you are, this is the generation which is finally going to make us a developed world. And the kind of leadership that we need, like I keep saying, we keep defining leadership. And two of my favorite anecdotes, which I picked up from my campus only. June 2022, my campus was coming up, and there were about 1,000 workers working on the site. And about June, 46 degrees is the temperature of there. And they all were working, and I happened to ask the first lot. We were walking and taking an inspection. मैंने पहली वाली टोली से मजदूर काम कर रहे थे. मैंने कहा भैया जी लोग आप लोग क्या कर रहे हो? उस टोली ने बोला मैम हम लोग देख पी रहे हैं, रोली कूद रहे हैं. ओके ओके कूदो रोली कूदो. मैं आज सेकेंड टीम भैया जी आप लोग क्या कर रहे हो? स्टीव ने बोला मैम ये लेइंग द फ्लोर, फर्श बना रहे. I walked across and I asked the third team, hey, what are you doing? क्या कर रहे हो भैया जी लोग? Answer was something like this, madam, संस्था बना रहे हैं. दूर दूर से बच्चा आएगा, पढ़ेगा, लिखेगा, जिंदगी बदल जाएगा. I don't have to tell you that all the three groups were exactly doing the same stuff.